Can you feel the bar?
Greetings and welcome to Old Drunken Discography, where we like to live in bars. We like to go to bars because we're old and drunk. Hashtag bring back Is It Art. Down there, that's Tim.
Howdy.
And as always, we got the Wild Bill.
Ooh, I don't know if we're ready for this one.
Well, he ain't very wild tonight, is he? We'll see. And I'm Jason, and we're talking Alkaline Trio. This was my pick. Each week, one of us brings an artist to the table for their friends to shit all over. So this week, I brought Alkaline Trio. And we're talking Crimson. This is spooky season. Check out our Spooky Paramore episode. Shout out Big Sam. And we're talking Crimson. Bill, you want to go first on this one? I'll just give a few little production notes here. Jerry Finn was producing again. Same lineup with Derek. Yeah, that's basically it.
All right. So this album was the one that I listened to the most songs starting off with. And before I get too deep into my notes, this was the one I was listening to and went, oh my gosh, Jason, you're not going to like me after we review this discography. But without further ado, I'll
Who
get
says
into
I
what
liked you
actually
before
wrote it. Well, you keep having me back for some godforsaken reason. I really don't know why, but I keep showing up. It's like a bad rash.
Because we love to see what you bring to the table. You know, you brought us Nickelback. I have to thank you. I would have never listened to all those Nickelback records if it wasn't for you.
That is very true.
We wouldn't have a new color if it wasn't for Nickelback.
Tim wouldn't have a whole brand new house and a new garage with shutters and all that stuff if it wasn't for that discography.
Right, yeah.
Man, his Home Depot rewards had to be through the roof.
Yeah.
And for you Alkaline Trio Facebook people
mixer
who like Creed, because I know April Fools they changed it to a Creed Facebook group. Old Bill picked Creed. It's coming up, so stick around for that.
With arms wide open. Anyways, Time to Waste, the opening song for this album. Such a basket case, top tier vocals and lyrics going on with this. I mean, up to this point, Alkaline Trio is not disappointed with their opening track. They've all been great. This one met that bar. Maybe, I wouldn't say and then some, but it definitely met that bar. Like, this one, for the first 5 openers, I'd put this one probably at number 3.
Ooh.
I mean, it's up there, but there's been 2 that are really good that are definitely on my top 7 songs.
Yeah, ranking the opening tracks would be hard. They usually open with bangers.
Yep. That being said, they followed up with Poison, which it reminds me of a song. I never went back to revise my notes to actually write in what song that reminded me of. And then I realized, oh wait, just kidding. It reminded me of the Remote and Strength to Endure. Just with how the swings go and everything else. Like, it's very, very similar, which isn't a bad thing, because that's a great Ramones song. Like 90% of the Ramones songs are.
Yes, it is.
90%? What's that other 10%?
Mashed potato time. Anyways.
Hold on.
That's top tier.
But those fighting words right there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm getting at. Alright, so now we got Burn following this up. And this is when shit goes sideways. It sounds like a super pop rock song, but even more poppy than rocky. And that didn't do it for me for Alkaline Trio. It just really didn't. Then we get to what is arguably their biggest single, probably? I mean, Jason, you could correct me if I'm wrong, if Mercy Me isn't their biggest single.
I mean,
I know when I was researching...
I'd already checked out of the radio at this point, but I remember there was a video, like Cowboy knew about Mercy Me, because he watched it.
It was pretty big.
I
only
mean,
touches that, Mutt Lang Diamond shit.
Well, yeah. They tried to make it big. I don't think it caught on, but
it
Right.
didn't get massive. Like I mean, it sounds like half the other songs you'd hear at 2005 radio. Like to
yeah.
call it what it is.
Post-American Idiot Radio.
I mean, thing is, that being said, it's really not for me. There's no crazy lyrics going on, really. There's no crazy instrumentals going on relative to the rest of the discography, Jason. Like, I get it's, more imaginative lyrics than some of the other stuff that was out in 2005, but it wasn't anything crazy lyrically. It's it's not what I want from Alkaline Trio up to this point. I mean, call me spoiled if you want, but this was actually the first song I heard from Alkaline Trio, and this was the one that had me most questioning, like, oh shit, this is gonna be a rough one for me to get through.
This one should be right up your alley, though.
It should be, but it isn't, and I haven't figured out why. I'll be honest, like I've sat here and tried to think about it. I don't know why it isn't. Then we get to Deathbed. It's got some haunting stuff going on, which again should be something that I really like, would be up my alley. But it's just all right. It's nothing crazy. It's not like, oh my gosh, I have to listen to Deathbed again. It's eh. Like I'd probably skip it, honestly. Then we got Settle for Satin. I thought that was a pretty cool song. It was a little bit of an uptick after the last couple. Um, one of the better songs on the later half of this album. I mean, I know that's probably still side A. I mean, Sadie would be another. Is a very pretty song, both musically and lyrically. And it's also up there, in quality wise. But again, I'm just kind of comparing it to the rest of this album here.
Oh, man, you're right. I
Fall
don't like you
Victim.
anymore.
No, yeah, that's okay. Fall Victim, it's got some ahs going on in there. It's very poppy. It's really not what I wanted to listen to either from Alkaline Trio again. I Was a Prayer. It sounds closer to that of the last album, finally. It, but it's nothing crazy though. That being said, so it's actually a good point there. Good job.
Why didn't you want to go back and forth with me on this one?
Because we're going back and forth on the next one. Hope you're ready. I don't know. Because we didn't go back and forth the first time when we recorded this one.
Who remembers that?
Me, barely. But anyways, Prevent This Tragedy. What in the Paramore bullshit is this song? I know Jason's not going to like that one. But that is the truth. Because, like, that's almost what it sounds like.
No.
And that's I went back and listened through it again right before we started recording. Like, yeah, that's what it reminds me of. And it's what it is. So, anyways, I'm going back to hell.
Yes, you are.
And Your Neck. And arguably, those two are very forgettable songs. Just not anything going on. It's arguably less than filler. Just because in the realm of this album, there's not a lot going on.
Less than filler.
So then we get to Smoke, and it might be the worst closing track in this discography.
If you're new to our channel, or you haven't seen any of our previous videos, Wild Bill is a masochist, and he loves the comments section. He reads them all, so you be sure to leave him a comment down below. Whatever's on your mind, just let Bill know.
Yeah.
What's on your mind, Jason?
Are you done? Yeah, I'm following you up. Fucking, that was a time to waste right there. It's fucking epic. Amazing opening track. Derek's drumming on it is sublime. The piano, it's just epic. This was the first Alkaline Trio album that I was anticipating because I jumped on with Good Morning. I got a leaked copy on the old LimeWire. I bought the CD day one. I saw them live on this tour. And there was a story about Kromdar. Maybe I'll find a picture of Kromdar, but we prayed to Lord Kromdar in a hotel. Me and my wife and Joe and another girl. And it was Sunday morning, and we were hungover, and Joe and I we dressed. You dressed up for Alkaline Trio, right? We had black suits on. The girls were wearing like funeral dresses, and this family of like white, your white bread family is over there praying for us. So we prayed for them to Lord Kromdar. It was a good time. The Poison fucking smacks you in the face. One of my favorite Dan Sung songs. Burn has a slow burn to it, but once it gets going, it blazes. I think Alkaline Trio has mastered that loud, quiet dynamic, and Burn's a good example of it. Mercy Me should have taken the pop punk fuse Hot Topic world by storm in 2005, but sadly it didn't. I remember Cowboy showing me the music video. He was a big Fuse channel guy. I was thinking, here we go, Alkaline Trio about to go mainstream, but it never happened. I love it though. It's so catchy. It's poppy. It checks all the boxes for pop punk. My favorite line is, I never had a problem facing fear, but I'm done, over and out, my dear. And right before the chorus and then the Matt Dan dual vocals are just perfect. Deathbed in true Alkaline Trio fashion. It's cheesy. It's morbid. It's great. My favorite line is, they said they tried everything, but it was no use. Yeah, they tried everything and everyone but you. Settle for Satin. Love the bass. Crimson has a lot more vocal trading than previous albums, and I'm here for it. Sadie is a classic top song contender. I heard a different version before I heard the Crimson version. We'll get to that. But this song lives rent-free in my head. The part right after Heather doing the spoken word and Skiba goes, whoa, still gets me every time. You know what that song's about, right? You know what Sadie's about?
Yeah.
Okay. Fall Victim, you can cite this album as one of the reasons people love Derek. The drumming creates a flow throughout the whole thing. Crimson is a vibe. Favorite line is, we heard our records backwards too many times. I'm wasting my breath. We're wasting our time. I Was a Prayer, I say it every album, but Dan gets better and better. Top song contender. Prevent This Tragedy, another top song contender. It's haunting. The lyrics are again based on a true story, and it's full of tragedy. That's the West Memphis 3 song. Back to Hell, top song, probably my favorite from the album. The chorus hits so damn hard. I love Dan's line of give us back our sins, deadly 1 through 7. Your Neck, were the things that go bump in the night that you can see, were the mishaps that always happen in threes. I think it would have been a better closer. Kind of sums up the album thematically. Only by this point it's turned from the offensive to the defensive. And Smoke, I never cared for it. It's not, I think it's their weakest closer. It's fine. I don't skip it, but it feels unfinished to me. Like it's missing something. There's kind of a loose theme on this record for me. There's quite a few mentions and examples of the weird and the morbid people getting blamed for bad things and taking shit. You know, if you grew up in the 80s with the Metallica shirt, you get that. And Crimson's like a security blanket or a rallying cry for those people saying it's okay to be different and misunderstood. I love this record, but it was a shock when I first heard it. It's heavily produced. You got strings by Warren Fitzgerald of the Vandals. It's more slower paced compared to their older stuff. And it's definitely a turning point in their sound. But there's a few hints of, Good Morning on it. Or Good Morning had a few of those hints, but Crimson is like locked in. They stepped out of their comfort zone. The color code will tell all. But yeah, Crimson, it's a vibe. You got to be in the right mood to listen to Crimson for me. Or me personally. What about you, Tim? This was you actually bought this record, which is weird.
Yeah, this was my entry point into the Alkaline Trio.
You heard Mercy Me and was like, I got to get that shit.
Probably. I honestly don't remember, but that would make the most sense. Certainly in 2005, I was looking for new rock bands, because they were very few and far between. And so yeah, I did get the CD and enjoyed it. Thought it was pretty good. Um, but it wasn't one that like maintained its spot in the rotation. Was listen to it a couple times, throw it on the shelf. So really, like coming back to it for this was first time I'd heard it in a few years, and I still like it. I think it's a pretty good album. I think, especially at this point where we're at the fifth album in their catalog, it's kind of the point where you either go full black album or or obscurity. And so I appreciate the fact that they kind of swung for the fences there and tried to make like a real um, accessible record while still maintaining everything that had come before it. There's still like a really good attitude here, and yeah, the songs are a little slower overall, but I think the lyrics are getting a lot better as well. Like, there's a lot to take in here. It's a pretty solid album, and I stand by it. It's good.
All right. I stand by it too. I love me some Crimson. Um, I will briefly go through Remains. When I say briefly, it's 22 tracks, but this is a really cool. I love the packaging, I guess, or the album art concept of Remains. There was also a little EP called Scraps that came out. I think it was for the Blood Pack.
Okay.
But
Well, I listened to this one.
you did listen to this one?
I did listen to this one. I didn't listen to Scraps, but yeah, I listened to this one. This
Yeah,
one
Scraps
it's really
is.
good.
Yeah, that's more like demos and stuff. There wasn't really anything that new
Sure.
on it.
Okay.
I bought this CD back in the day, even though there wasn't much on it here that I didn't already have. It was like I said, Kazaa days. But like self-titled, it's Mandatory Trio. Hell yes, fucking classic. Jake Dunn Green Beer should have been the opening, but whatever. Still top tier. Lyrically, it's about turning your back on a religion that's forced on you, and how much fun you can have once you say, you know what, fuck it.
Oh,
Standard.
dark, I have sinned, done it once, and I'll do it again.
Yeah, yeah. They stick in your head. Standard Break. It's a fun dance song. Dead End Road is Mandatory Alkaline Trio, another super happy poppy song with super dark lyrics. Metro is a decent cover. Jake Dunn Green Beers, top song contender. Still deciding if it should be the opening track on the playlist or not. It's that damn good. Favorite line, the only thing you ever really took from me were my records to hawk them for dope. Queen of Pain, throwback to Maybe I'll Catch Fire. While You're Waiting, checks all the Alkaline Trio boxes. Top song contender. You got Rooftops, you got Old School Reasons, both classic. Warbrains from the Rock Against Bush comp. Favorite line, and all those nights we spent together never felt this fucking cold. And we left the car running in the driveway to kiss you one last time before we brought the horses in before the storm 59. Fine Without You's great. I said briefly, but fuck, there's a lot of songs. Hating Every Minute, I love it. Dan's vocal delivery is so sneering and angry. Dead and Broken, another one based on some true crime shit. Fucking perfect. Sadie, this was the first Sadie version I had heard. I still prefer this over the Crimson version, but it's just a little bit more raw here, a little bit faster. If You Had a Bad Time, top song contender, and quite possibly my favorite Dan song. Favorite line, just to be true to yourself. If it lands you in hell, well, at least now you know. But really, the whole fucking song is quotable. Wait for the Blackout's fine. We Can Never Break Up, another classic. You're like the song in my head, like a la 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 la, always makes me smile. Don't Say You Won't is great, and Buried feels like a closing track. It's better than Smoke. It's up there with the best of the studio albums. Like, this is all Mandatory Trio that should be heard. And Over at the Frankenstein Place is just fucking funny and good. Did you
Yeah,
listen
I
to this
really
one?
liked the cover of the Metro. I thought it had a lot of energy. It a lot of those old school new wave songs just lend themselves to punk rock covers.
Yeah,
And
that's
so if you
true.
can find the right band and the right song, it's just gonna work. And I thought this one worked really good.
So I really like especially just going off of that with Metro. Because yeah, I did listen to this one. Actually, before I mentioned with Metro, this album as a whole, I didn't realize that it was bonus or extra credit. So initially I ranked this album, and I will say this album was actually my number two album for Alkaline Trio as a whole before I realized it shouldn't be there.
Oh,
So I take that out.
I mean, math.
But
Yeah,
with
If
pretty
I
good.
was still using math, 22 tracks, you know.
Wins.
hey, I already used math when I ranked other stuff. Don't worry.
Well,
Um,
and if you get over 20 tracks, like, okay, 22 tracks, 26 minutes.
It's a little longer than that, but
yeah.
yeah, you know, it's. I mean, it's a double record, of course.
I mean, I'll say
Sure.
with Metro, I like that it was like they did like a full opening, like they played quickly, then they stopped, and then they started it up again. I always like when they do kind of like that false opening, you know, for a song. Um, but yeah, I'd say actually, I mean, I've got a couple from this that are in my top song contention,
Okay.
which is obvious because I said I had this album at number two. Like, yeah, there's a lot of songs I liked on this album.
This is like the Ramones, where like I didn't write a top song list. I'm just gonna go off of whatever you guys are picking.
Sure.
I mean, I got a few that are locked, but we're not ranking it, sadly, because that just wouldn't be fair.
It's a
We are
good one.
Instead, we're
ranking,
ranking Crimson.
which is a fucking great record. And it's your turn to guess. I fucking love Crimson, dude.
I know you do, but you love all the other ones, which is why I think you still have it at four. Jason.
I gotta find my rankings. Let me see if you're right or not.
I
Go
don't
to
think you have it above Infirmary, and you might have it at five.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. Math doesn't win this one. I think maybe I'll Catch Fire is a more solid album overall, but
Yeah.
Color Code will tell all.
And actually, with Tim, I'm going to say Tim also has it five.
That'd be incorrect.
So you'd have it three then, I think.
I'm moving it all the way up to number three.
Then likewise to Jason. So I have it the exact same place as him. It's also my number five.
The color code, though, is what matters. The color code is what matters. Stick around to
Oh,
the
yes,
end
it
when we get
does.
to blood, hair, and eyeballs, and we'll do our color code.
We're halfway there.
We're halfway there. We're almost back to recording new stuff that we haven't recorded before because I'm a fucking idiot and my computer fucked up.
Now, we forgive you, Jason. Don't worry.
Right. We're taking your computer out back though and beating the shit out of it.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. We'll pull an office on that motherfucker. All right, so stick around. Up next, Dan Andorino in the emergency room. No, sorry, I just had to bring that out there. Agony and Irony, not a bootleg copy, original. That's where I coincidentally is where I switched over from CD to vinyl was that year. So I got lucky. Stick around, be safe, make good decisions. Leave Bill some comments down below.
I do respond to every one of them directed at me.